What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Pitching Ninja's filthiest pitches of the day. Remember, before I get to those pitches, hit that subscribe button. Join Ninja Nation. Be a part of the biggest and best daily baseball show on YouTube. Plus, new subscribers make me happy, so hit subscribe, and without further ado, here are my filthiest pitches of the day. I'm going to start with Tanner Bibee, who had 6 Ks in 6 2/3 innings, giving up 3 runs. Bibee was solid again with this fastball for a sword, this nasty slider, and this filthy changeup and curveballs. Bibee faced Dylan Cease, who had 5 Ks in 5 2/3 innings. He gave up 4 runs, but got Ks on this elevated fastball, this sick knuckle curve, and this absolutely vicious slider for a sword. Look how angry that thing is. Patrick Sandoval had 4 Ks in 5 innings, giving up 2 runs, and had these nasty sliders and changeup. Justin Steele was really good again with 4 Ks in 6 innings, giving up 1 run. He had this cutting fastball. He doesn't call it a cutter, it's just a fastball that happens to cut. He also had this slider for a sword and this absolutely wipeout slider. Steele is now 11-3 this year with a 2.87 ERA. And bound to get at least some consideration in the Cy Young race. What do y'all think? Is Justin Steele a Cy Young contender? Let me know in the comments, after you've hit subscribe. Steele faced Miles Michaelis, who had this fastball for a K, but didn't hang around that long. He only pitched 2/3 of an inning. Because of this, Happ hits Contreras in the head with his backswing. Definitely not on purpose, these guys are friends, but it definitely hurt. Michaelis stares at Happ, and Happ stares back, and we all know what's going to happen. Michaelis then throws at Happ twice, the first time just missing him, and the second time hitting him in a pretty well-padded spot. I don't think these slipped. The umpires got together, realized this was very intentional, and then tossed Michaelis. Now obviously Happ didn't hit Contreras in the head on purpose, and I'm assuming Michaelis was sending a message to Contreras that I got your back. You're a Cardinal and not a Cub now. Let me know your thoughts about this situation in the comments. Kodai Senga was outstanding yesterday with 5 strikeouts in 6 innings, giving up only 2 hits and 1 run. He got Ks on this nasty cutter, as well as these absolutely filthy ghost forks. Probably nothing shows how hard the ghost fork is to hit than this overlay. Here's an overlay of Senga's fastball and ghost fork, and look how long these pitches tunnel. As a hitter, you think that ghost fork is a fastball, and when you swing, it's nowhere to be seen, like a ghost. Senga now has a 3.17 ERA this year and is pretty unquestionably the ace of the Mets pitching staff that has 2 first-ballot Hall of Famers on it. Senga dueled against Josiah Gray, who was also really good, with 4 strikeouts and 6 scoreless innings, giving up only 2 hits. Gray had these painted cutters, as well as his slider for a K on a strike-him-out, throw-him-out double play. And he also got a K on this slider that was just off the plate, but we'll take it. Michael Lorenzen had 7 Ks in 5 innings, giving up 3 runs, and got Ks on his fastballs, sliders, and changeups. And he faced yesterday's filthiest starting pitcher of the day, Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani had one of the greatest days a baseball player has ever had. First, Ohtani threw a 1-hit shutout with 8 strikeouts. And look at his stuff. His fastballs were in the upper 90s. He even inadvertently painted with his fastball. Had these filthy curveballs and sweepers, as well as a splitter. And here's an overlay of Ohtani's fastball and splitter, and you can see why hitting against Ohtani is so tough. The most impressive thing to me about Ohtani this game was he was hitting the lines of the strike zone like he could see the broadcast box in his head. Over and over and over again. If you notice, Wallach is basically just setting up down the middle, and Ohtani's letting the natural movement of his pitches get to the edges of the strike zone. Pure perfection. It's also a good way to get the pitcher to attack. Setting up down the middle and letting the pitch eat gives the pitcher a lot more confidence than trying to be too fine with his pitches. And this was only half of Shohei's day. In the second half of the doubleheader, he hit not 1, but 2 home runs, proving that aliens do exist. We're witnessing the greatest baseball player of all time at the height of his powers. What do you do for an encore after this? With those 2 home runs, Ohtani became only the 2nd player in the history of baseball to have 2 home runs on the same day he threw a shutout with 1 hit or fewer. The other was Rick Wise in a game he threw a no-hitter. Now Shohei is the first player ever did a home run in another game after he pitched a shutout. But that's also because most pitchers don't get a chance to hit in the second game of a doubleheader. Anyway, I could keep throwing stats at you, or you can believe your eyes. This man is an absolute miracle. Now on to my filthiest relievers. Aaron Bummer had this filthy sweeper. Trevor Stephan had this fastball. Daniel Palencia had this 99-mile-an-hour heat and cutter. Brooks Raley had this sick sweeper. Gregory Santos had this vicious slider. And here's an overlay of his slider with this 100-mile-an-hour sinker. And look at how unfair that combination is. But my filthiest reliever of the day was Emmanuel Clase. Check out these flaming cutters from Clase. 100 and 101 miles an hour with that late cut. It's no wonder why he's one of the best closers in the game. And now, my Pitching Ninja moment of zen. This came from a couple of days ago, but I love this. This is the Rogers brothers warming up in the bullpen. It's rare that you have a set of twins both warming up, purely situational, in case you need a righty submariner or a lefty to come in. I love it. What is up, everybody? I've got some great news for you today. Today is a 30% Pitching Ninja Profit Boost Token Day at FanDuel. And these Profit Boosts can be used for any MLB parlay of 3 legs or more with plus 400 odds or more. I would use my Profit Boost token on my 3-leg parlay, which is a same-game parlay of Reese Olson for 5Ks or more and Braxton Garrett for 6Ks or more, and top it off with Kevin Gausman for 8Ks or more. What would your picks of the day be?